I just spent the last 2 weeks reading a 700-page book by Thomas Sowell, a Stanford economist. It's called Basic Economics. The economy seems confusing and complicated, but it's not. Most people never learn how it actually works, so they keep getting fooled. By the end of this video, you will understand why taxing the rich hurts the poor people the most, why making rent cheaper creates housing shortages, why making food cheaper makes it disappear. I know it all sounds backwards, but once you see the proof, you can't unsee it. So, let us start. The year is 2008. The state of Maryland has a problem. They need money. So someone comes up with an idea. Let's tax rich people more. Maryland had about 8,000 millionaires. They do the math and say, if we raise their taxes, we'll collect $106 million more every year. Done! Problem solved. Everyone celebrates. Here's what actually happened. Year 1, they collected the tax. Everything is going to plan. Year 2, somebody counts the millionaires again. There were only 6,000 left. 2,000 millionaires had just vanished. They moved somewhere else. Instead of gaining 106 million, Maryland actually lost 257 million in total tax revenue. Oregon tried the same thing. Raised taxes on high earners and lost billions over time. And here's the lesson. And I really want you to get this. People respond to rewards, not intentions. Maryland intended to raise money, but what they actually did was reward millionaires for leaving. So the millionaires left, and they took their businesses, their restaurants, their companies with them. The jobs disappeared. Now, you can wish that people would just sit there and accept higher taxes, but intentions don't matter. Rewards do. What this means for you, in your business, your relationships, your life. Don't ask what you want people to do. Ask what you're rewarding them to do. Number 2, every choice has a cost. Let's say you have $10. You want a Starbucks, a burger, and a movie ticket. Can you have all 3? No. $10 is $10. You get the Starbucks, you skip the burger. You get the burger, forget the movie. Every single choice means giving up something else. That's a trade-off. Economics is not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have. And this isn't just with small things, this is how the world works. For example, Venezuela has massive oil reserves. They should be rich, but they're broke. Switzerland has nothing in the ground. They should be poor, but they're one of the richest countries on earth. The same rule applies to you. Every dollar you spend, every hour you work, every person you hire, it can only be used once. The real question is not, can I afford this? It's, what am I giving up to get this? For example, you buy a BMW for $50,000. Beautiful car. Leather seats. You feel like you made it. But here's what you didn't see. If you bought a Toyota Corolla for $20,000 instead and invested the extra $30,000 in 10 years, it could almost be worth $60,000. In 30 years, you are looking at almost $250,000. That BMW didn't cost you $50,000. It cost you $250,000. That's the trade-off. Every time you spend money, you're not just spending money. You're spending what that money could have become. Same with your time. Same with your energy. Same with your attention. Once you start seeing trade-offs, you can't unsee them. And that's either the most terrifying thing you'll ever learn or the most powerful. Number 3, prices are messages. There's this famous story. Soviet leader Gorbachev visits Britain and asks Margaret Thatcher, "How do you make sure people get food?" She replies, "I don't, prices do." Think about that. London has not grown enough food to feed itself for over a century. Millions of people, 3 meals a day. There is no minister of sandwiches, no government office decides where the bread goes. And yet every morning, fresh fish arrives from Norway, beef from Argentina, coffee from Brazil. Nobody is coordinating this. Prices are. Let me show you why no human could ever do what prices do. Imagine you're in charge of all the pizza in your country. Not one pizza shop, all of it. Your job is to make sure everyone who wants pizza gets it. You would need to know how many people want pizza today versus tomorrow, which cities need more, what toppings, how much cheese to make, which means deciding how much milk goes to cheese versus ice cream, how many tomatoes to grow, how many ovens to build. And all of this changes every single day. You cannot know all this. No human can. No computer can. Too many variables changing too fast. But this problem gets solved every single day. Remote little towns get pizza. Big cities get pizza. Nobody is in charge. Nobody is planning it. Prices do it. When pizza is scarce, prices go up. Suppliers rush to make more. When there is too much, prices drop. Suppliers slow down. Nobody sends these messages on purpose. They just happen, based on how many people want something and how much of it exists. The price isn't the enemy. The price is the only one telling you the truth. So the next time you see a price that makes you angry, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what is this price trying to tell me? Is something scarce? Are too many people chasing too little supply? The price isn't the problem. It's the only honest signal you've got. Number 4, price controls never work. New York City has thousands of abandoned apartments, just sitting there, empty. Meanwhile, homeless people sleep on the street right outside those buildings. There are 4 times as many abandoned apartments as homeless people in New York. Let me show you how this happens. Imagine your school makes an announcement. Tomorrow, free pizza at lunch, unlimited, take as much as you want. At first, just the kids who normally buy lunch show up. Small line, normal. But word spreads fast. Now everyone shows up. Kids who usually bring lunch from home, kids from other grades, everybody. And everybody's grabbing extra slices, just in case. 20 minutes later, the pizza is gone. The early kids hoarded everything. The ones who came late got nothing. This is what happens every single time you mess with prices. Now go back to New York. Rent was getting expensive. People were struggling. So politicians step in. They make a rule. Landlords can't charge more than a certain amount. Rent control. Problem solved, right? Wrong. At the lower price, suddenly everyone wants their own place. The college student who is going to stay with his parents now gets his own apartment. The widow who is thinking about moving in with the family keeps her 3-bedroom to herself. Remember the free pizza example? The same thing happens here. Everyone grabs extra, and the people who actually need it get nothing. But wait, it gets even worse. If landlords can't raise rent, they stop fixing things. They stop repairing roofs. Buildings start to rot. Eventually, some landlords just walk away entirely. And that is how you get thousands of empty apartments in a city full of homeless people. Price controls made them worthless to operate. Same pattern with food. Zimbabwe artificially kept prices low during the inflation crisis. Stores emptied within hours. Farmers just stopped bringing food to market because selling at the controlled price meant losing money, so they didn't sell. People starved while crops rotted on farms. This is what happens when you set prices too low. Now, let me show you what happens when you set the prices too high. India, early 2000s. The government wanted to help farmers, so they guaranteed a high price for wheat. No matter what happens, farmers get paid well. Sounds great, right? Wrong again. If the government guarantees a high price, farmers grow more wheat to make a profit. So that is what they did. They produced way more wheat than anyone could need. And the government had to buy it all. 11 million tons of wheat piled up in warehouses. And then it rotted, while people in other parts of the country were starving. So here's the pattern. Set the price too low, shortage, people can't get